It's time to look at stories that have made it to the front pages of the newspaper. Now, starting off with Daily Trust. We have on the front page of Daily Trust, villagers flee as gunmen kill many in Benue. And on the top left, Tinubu didn't seek NASA approval to buy presidential jet, says Abaribi. Service sector raises GDP by 3.46% in Q3. And Northern lawyers condemn attempt to remove CCT chairman illegally. Now, for the picture we have there, worried residents gathered in one of the communities attacked, that's in Benue. People fleeing one of the communities and a car destroyed during one of the attacks. It's right there on the front page. Now, bottom, we have medical outreach turns Ori in Abia has many hospitalized. And reps lead march against gender-based violence. You find that on page 12. Tinubu to present 2025 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. What are your expectations? And Kano governor flags off recertification of C of O. If you want to get the stories to keep yourself informed, do well to grab a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper to have access to all of the stories and keep yourself informed. Now moving on to Guardian. For Guardian this morning, on the front page of Guardian, GDP defies inflation shocks as more Nigerians take informal jobs. That is on Guardian. And then we also have federal government defends borrowing as NNPCL FIR's customs surpasses 2024 target. Minimum wage cross-river workers embark on strike, reject government's plea. Still there, we have Edwin Clark decries Rivers political crisis, faults lawmakers' defection. NBA slams EFCC boss for accusing lawyers of money laundering. And NPC defends output amid confusion over oil production data. Now on the bottom of Guardian, despite challenges, Nigeria's economy grows by 3.46% and Discos record 54.2 billion revenue shortfall in September. Sit at home. Schools closed over gunmen attacks in Anambra. These are the stories we have on the front pages of the Guardian newspaper. Now, joining us in the studio to look at the stories we have, the Program Director, Daily Trust Foundation, Dr. Theophilus Abba. It's always good to have you with us in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Okay, let's just do this differently today. Comment on any story of your choice that piqued your interest from all the stories we looked at.
Well, I will comment on the violence in Benue. Let's start from there.
Okay.
Because we know that the North Central is exposed to, attacks by bandits.
Yeah.
We know that in Niger State, we have bandits who have sacked many communities. In Benue also, we've had those attacks severally. Nasarawa, not so much, but then we've had maybe mostly intercommunal clashes and at times bandit attacks. But you know what we have noticed with the North Central, maybe because I come from the North Central, is that you see the kind of militarization that we expect, to be able to deter these bandits has not happened in the North Central. If you look at it over the years, we've heard so much about Benue. Even Kogi, even part of Kogi, I tell you that there's a section of Kogi where bandits are collecting taxes from the people to enable, for them to go to their farms, to even enter into the market to trade. They have to pay tax to bandits. It's happening in Kogi. In fact, recently, it was last week, a former journalist with the Daily Trust, his family members were kidnapped in Kogi State. Now, but you see, the efforts, to deter these bandits, have not been effective. So you discover that what happened in Benue demonstrates that, look, you see, these people were not afraid of any security agencies. They entered into the community on Sunday. They operated until Monday. I think about 2 local governments. They sacked them, killed people, and disappeared. They have what they call their own internal security, homeland security, whatsoever they call it. But this homeland security cannot deter these bandits. So in the North Central, there has to be attention. Government will do something about the insecurity in the North Central. We concentrated so much on Boko Haram.
And the northeast.
And then in the northwest we have bandits and all those things. But then the north central will not give that the north enough attention to deal with these bandits who are dislocating lives, who are killing people. Every other day you hear about killings in Benue. I think recently the lawmaker representing a part of Benue was complaining that about some 500 persons had been killed in that community over a period of a short period, maybe 1 year or so. You know, so many people had been killed in his community, and then we have not seen enough security arrangement to deter these bandits, because you see, as long as they have a thoroughfare, as long as they have a free ride, you know, go to communities, destroy the communities, kill people, destroy farms, cut away goods. You know, I mean, nobody challenges them. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm feeling that the government must give attention. You know, there must be a security arrangement to protect the people in the north central. And you see, the problem with the north central is that a lot of towns are like villages. You know, so the local government headquarters is almost like a village. So you see villages being attacked, local government headquarters, and you see nobody is around. The security policemen are not enough, and there are no soldiers in most of these communities to prevent or to deter these bandits.
We actually.
So there must be a deliberate attempt
yeah.
to provide security. I mean, a peculiar kind of security for the people in the north central.
All right. We're looking forward to that happening, especially being the fact that the fight against security is a major challenge, and it's something that the government is putting in a lot of efforts to look into. But Tinubu to present 2025 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. What are your expectations? Well,
we already know it's going to be a deficit budget, because I think last week talked about 48 trillion budget, and then there's going to be about 13 point something trillion as deficit. That means that the budget is going to borrow funds, you know, to finance the budget. And then I think last week the National Assembly approved $2.2 billion for government, and this money is going to be borrowed from using Eurobond. So we're expecting that the budget will be a lot of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. But if you look at the situation, and we have argued it again and again, what happened to the previous loans that we took? No, because when you take a loan, it is not because you love taking loans, but you are taking a loan to invest and generate income. Now, what income have we generated from previous loans? It's one question that the National Assembly ought to ask the president. He's coming to present the budget. He's coming to ask for, of course, the Senate has even approved the loan. But then what have we benefited? What are we generating? We took loans to do this Abuja Kaduna Rail. What are we generating? You understand? We are taking loans to do all sorts of projects. Where is the income from this project? Because you don't take loans simply because you want to build infrastructure. You don't take loans simply because you just feel like taking it. Because you want to invest this loan and generate interest. Now, if it's a company, for instance, a company goes to the bank to say, look, I am taking a loan of, let's say, 100 million from your bank. You are expecting that, look, I'm going to trade with this money. I'm going to do business with this money, and this money will generate interest. I'll make a profit to pay back the bank with the profit. But in Nigeria, we have not seen it. You see, if you go to some of the projects that we have used this loan to fund, we discover that either some of them are not completed, some of them are not functional, some of them have been abandoned. You know, some of them we cannot justify the money that went into them. And then when you talk about conditional cash transfer, you know, one of the areas that the funds we've been getting in recent times from IMF and part of the World Bank enters into, we have discovered that, look, we don't even know the people who are getting this CCT. And then we don't know whether they actually lifted out of poverty.
All right.
So it's a whole lot. My own concern is that, you know, they keep saying that, we can take loans because our debt to GDP is still not bad. But if you say your debt to GDP is not bad, what have you benefited from this loan? That is number one. And then because of these loans, the revenue that we generate is used to service the debts. And because the revenue to service is there, we cannot invest in social infrastructure.
All right, talking about the economy, there was an unemployment rate. There was an MBS report that stated that unemployment has dropped, and we saw NLC coming out to say it is not at par with the current economic reality. We've seen several papers talking about a 3.46 GDP growth in quarter 3 based on the MBS report. Have you had access to it, and what's your thought on the MBS, the latest MBS report?
Well, I've not read the report, but I am aware of some of the things that MBS, has been doing in terms of employment, So MBS is believing that, based on the data it's collecting, anybody who earns money is employed.
Oh, okay.
But you see, nominally that is not true, because we have what we call underemployment, which is a major problem. There are people who are graduates. You are a graduate, you studied maybe engineering, chemical engineering. There are no jobs, so you now begin to do POS. You understand? You now say, okay, so your friend gave you 200,000, 300,000 naira, you get a money point or OP, you begin to do POS. And then, of course, you go out to do something, but that is gross underemployment. So what we are facing in Nigeria today is a lot of underemployment. People now say, okay, there's no other thing for me to do. Let me start, doing Uber. Let me start riding Okada. In fact, I have a friend who studies statistics. He has a very good degree in statistics. He began to ride Okada in Abuja. He had an accident, and he was burned to death. Because he was living in one room in Maraba, just one room, and in order to ensure that thieves did not steal his motorcycle, he put the motorcycle in the same room with him. I don't know how fire caught this thing. So this guy that a very good degree in statistics, and that guy was brilliant.
And this as a result of underemployment.
So because of unemployment, in fact, you tell you, I've gone everywhere, I can't get a job.
All right.
I've met people who have degree in petroleum engineering, who are doing driving taxis. And you see, there was even one, who was telling me, say, look, do you think I'm happy with my life? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So you see, we try to make ourselves happy by saying that so far you are earning anything, you are already employed.
So you're saying that the MBS report is not reflective of the reality in Nigeria? Of course,
I'm one of those who believe that the MBS report is not realistic.
Okay.
I know the data is there. They will say, oh yes, people are employed in the informal sector, blah blah blah. But then, what kind of employment are you talking about?
All right. Thank you so much. It's good to look at it from, like you said, the informal sector, underemployment and unemployment. These are all factors that come to play. When it comes to putting out this report. And Nigerians don't just want to earn a living. They want to earn a living and be able to afford living in the nation and surviving. But unfortunately, we've run out of time. I wish we had more time to touch on a lot more here. But thank you so much, Doctor, for always coming to spend time on the show this morning and giving us your thoughts on the stories that made it to the front page. We really do appreciate your presence and your thoughts on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, having said that, we've come to the end of the show this morning. We hope we've been able to keep you informed, updated, educated on things that are happening in the nation today. We hope you're able to go away with something from the show this morning. Well, my name is Lilian Ogazi. At the top of the hour, we're bringing you sports. We'll also have business and we have news. So stick around because we have a lot more for you. But before I leave you, I'd say please do well to confirm news or any information that comes to your doorstep or to your phones or wherever it is you try to get information. Keep yourself informed, read, get your news or information from the right sources. Let us try to curb fake news and misinformation as much as we can. Keep yourself abreast and always keep yourself informed and confirm news or information before you spread them out. Having said that, do have a great day ahead. We'll see you again, same time, same station tomorrow. Bye for now.